And welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 125 here from downtown Mawa, coming to you from the above average dining room studios here in Mawa. And I wish I could give the address to even be funnier, but I can't here in Mawa. Part of Society Hill Day here at Shea. And of course, alongside behind the glass, your friend and mine, coming to you from downtown Matawan from the fine Chop Sports Studios, Mr. Dave Sturchio. Dave, how we doing, man?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. Big week over here at the studio. Just trying to get things, right before we reveal to the world, I guess.
I understand you're having an opening house, rain or shine. Now, last year you did a barbecue, and
that was a success. I had a good time.
It was a good time, and now you decided that with the weather conditions, you had to be a little more. You had to move things indoors.
Yeah, we've changed a little bit as a company since then. Last year was a lot of our own content. This year, now it's like we want to show people what we got going on at the studio, and what you can see behind me is half a podcast studio, half a video studio. So we've made a lot of upgrades to this place over time since Jimmy's been here. Jimmy's podcast that really put us over the top, that really gave us the green light to really do this place up.
Well, the last time I was there, you guys, it was like you weren't the Yankees, you were like the Highlanders over there. You were playing at the Polo Grounds there. Well, that's good. Well, I hope everybody shows up. Hope you're I'm sure you're advertising it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Try to get people there. Let you guys know what you do. What you have to do. I think you should do it maybe more than once a year. Try to just get people.
Yeah. That's the goal. I mean, listen, I always preach that this place is a open door policy. Anybody that wants to come check it out, come check it out.
Yeah. And I've been there. The studios are beautiful, and you could do your podcast, and you could do photo shoots. You could do some video shoots. Yeah. You could do. They have editing there. They could help you out with. So if you're one of those people that always says, "Oh, I really want to do this, that, the other thing," but you haven't figured it out, go there. And I know you guys. If you don't know how to do something, you have people that can come in and assist you with that. So
we do.
All that.
We're also a what do you call it? I guess a minor league system to really get you ready for the majors, because your niece, in fact, is doing some big things with Syracuse now. She was an intern. She was an intern here first.
Now she's a grad student.
She was a Chop athlete first. Everybody bought her stuff. There's about $8,000 worth of merchandise coming out of the Palumbo family.
And I got a huge cut of that. And Jimmy Palumbo was left at the altar day here at Shea. That's one of Jimmy's fine business ventures is getting in bed with Chop Sport. But I did get a co-host out of it.
Yeah, listen.
And reasonable social media prices. Yeah, but Madison's doing great. I just talked to her on Friday. She's
when I didn't come to the Woolbridge Brewery.
Yes, you were too tired.
It's been a long week.
Really, I know it's too tired, and you got a wife and two kids. You didn't quite add that into.
The worst part about that, they were at their mother-in-law's, so it's like I was home by myself that night. I was like, the hell with this shit. I'm doing an X on my king size bed, and I'm not moving.
We will get to the Woolbridge Brewery in a little bit.
All right.
Well, all right. So, Chop Sports is doing their big thing on this Sunday. What's the time?
Saturday from 12 to 5.
12 to 5. I'm working on a film. Otherwise, I'd go myself.
First of all, I thought
we'll get to that later. But right now, I have.
It's called a teaser in the business.
Yeah, we're teasing it. See, I've been in the league a while. I know how to tease things, but I have. This might be my favorite. Again, I love flawed players. Okay, This guy struck out a lot back when no one really struck out a lot. Well, they all struck out, I guess. This guy, anybody who's older I have to say, anybody who's maybe, I would say 55 and over listening to this show here at Shea. This guy was the ultimate wiffle ball player. Every wiffle ball player imitated his stance. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lee May. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Lee May and his brother Carlos May. You remember him? He played with the Yankees too. Now, I'm going to try to imitate. Lee May was the first guy to do the wiggle of the bat behind his head. You've probably seen it in highlights and be like,
I've seen. I mean, for my time frame, it was more Gary Sheffield.
Sheffield was like the second landing. Okay. You know what I mean? So this is but Lee May had the wiggle bat. He struck out a lot, but he played really well. I was blown away by a couple of things. Again, this is why I do the show for myself instead of going to a counselor. I just do this show. I got the 1971 card, which is that old school with the black top on there. And this is actually a pretty good card. Like it's actually like in action. You remember these had those in action cards? This is like I guess he couldn't bother going to the photo shoot in spring training. But
hey,
he was
you
the
put
first.
your bat over your shoulder and just stand there for a minute and just take a picture.
Second. Now he was the first baseman in outfield. My brother's going to be pissed. He's going to be like, everybody knew who Lee May was. Yeah, Frank, you're 62 years old. Not everybody knows who Lee May is. His lifetime batting average 267. He had over 2,000 hits, and he had 354 home runs. I said right away. I said to myself, everybody's like, "Oh, Don Mattingly, Don Mattingly." We're like, you know what? You can. And Lee May steps up to the plate here. I mean, like, I don't think Mattingly's stats are that good. Maybe they are. I don't know. He also had over 1,200 RBIs, 18 years in the league, played with Cincy, Houston, Baltimore, and Royals. He was obviously best with Cincinnati. Best year was in 69. He batted 278, 38 home runs, 110 RBIs. Basically, he was Aaron Judge. A lot of these stats are like
I just did quick math. You just said he's been in the league for 18 years and had 1,200 RBIs. Okay, so he averaged 65 RBIs a year, so he wasn't that good.
At the end of his career, he was a pinch hitter and journeyman. But listen, Don Sutton's in the Hall of Fame. He was never the number 1 or 2 starter. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, think about that. That means like you pitch game 3, and then you're not seen again because if it goes 7, they don't get back to you.
Right,
okay?
They got the 1 and the 2 on 2 days rest.
There you go. But in 69, he batted 278, 38 home runs, 110 RBIs. In 71, he batted 278 again with 39 home runs and about 100 RBIs. He played the 70 World Series, and people don't forget, 69, the Mets beat the Orioles. And the Orioles are probably the best team in the league for a 4 or 5 year stretch. And in 1970, they just blew it. They were so pissed they lost to the Mets. They just blew everybody out. But he was 7 for 18 in the World Series. Imagine a guy went 7 for 18 now. We'd be all over him. But listen, the big thing about him that people don't realize, besides his wiggling of the bat for all you wiffle ball fans out there, he was traded by the Reds, okay, to Houston. All right. He was traded with Tommy Helms, a guy named Jimmy Stewart, a guy named Ed Armbrister, and for Jack Billingham, Cesar Geronimo in the trade. But the biggest name he got traded for, a little known guy, ESPN announcer, Hall of Famer, Mr. Joe Morgan. I believe the Reds did a little bit better in that trade.
I was just gonna say it was like 9 guys for 1. What was that?
No, I forget. No, it was 2 guys, and they got Ed Armbrister. It was a big trade, big thing. He died in 2017. He was called the Big Bopper. I remember that. Don't ask me why. I was a little kid. He also hit 100 RBIs with 3 different teams. Not too many guys have done that. He was a hitting coach for years. He was the brother of Carlos May. Now, the reason why Carlos May is hysterical for people my age, Carlos May, his younger brother, playing with firecracker or something, he blew off half his thumb. So Carlos May, his brother, only had
the
like
original Jonathan Pierre-Paul or Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah.
No, he has nothing on him. And also, his son was drafted first round by the Mets in '86. Only played about 4 years in the minors, though. Listen, Lee May was a fine, good player. I mean, listen.
I'd get excited about the card, but your friend Troy Chabaro comes in, says that was the one card he had quadruples of. It seemed that he was in every pack.
That's because he was Lee May. I'm telling you though, this year when he bat the year before, he was 253. 34 home runs.
He's an all-star on the Yankees right now.
Yeah. By the way, every card I choose the last month, everybody's making $27 million a year. He basically his best year, he was Aaron Judge. Anyway, I find that funny, but that's it. Lee May. Now, of course, I asked you to name some shitty tight ends on the Cowboys that I would remember. So who do we got?
Last week was David LaFleur. And of course, this week we're going to go with a guy by the name of Martellus Bennett.
I remember him.
Who played
with the Giants.
Played with the Giants, as a matter of fact. Started with the Cowboys.
First. Oh, Cowboys
first. Right. Yeah, I remember watching Hard Knocks, which, by the way, debuts tonight for Miles's team, the Jets.
That's right. Dave's son has become a Jet fan. He's only a year and a half old. Dave's son is texting me how good Rodgers is.
I know. Listen, I might or may not have a new Aaron Rodgers jersey. I don't know. I can't speak for anybody, but I will say Martellus Bennett, a shitty Cowboy. I remember watching him specifically in Hard Knocks because that's the Cowboys were the year that he was a thing, a draft pick. And I remember, you probably remember this guy. He was a Garrett brother. He was obviously, Jason Garrett was the,
right.
With the Giants and the Cowboys, and he's a Princeton grad, right? So I think it was John Garrett who was the tight ends coach that year. If you go back, you can go on YouTube. It's probably some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see. YouTube, Martellus Bennett and John Garrett. This dude rode Martellus Bennett the entire summer about how he held the football, how he put your helmet back on, Martellus. Right. Make sure you're holding it high and tight, Martellus. I've never seen a guy get abused the way Martellus Bennett was. He turned out to be an okay tight end down the road. Never really panned out for the Cowboys, but there is your second shitty Cowboys.
Well, I will tell you something. I remember him being part of that new. I have to preface, but I'm about to say something stupid. He was, to me, part of the way the tight ends are now, in that he wasn't a good blocker. He was fast.
He was an athletic.
He was athletic. Yeah. And so he could, he's one of those guys that, he can do a 30-yard out. All the tight ends, are like that now. But back then, he was not Bavaro. He was faster than Bavaro, and he couldn't block like Bavaro could. He was part of the new, and a lot of old coaches just couldn't handle a guy who couldn't block the LT coming in or whatever. And so they got rid of guys like that. But now the league is set up where I think he would have been a good player now in the NFL. I really do. Because he got open a lot. I remember he was like good shitty. You know what I mean? For the Giants. Same with the Cowboys. I don't think I don't have his stats in front of me, but I'm willing to bet he probably,
wasn't much.
And he might have gotten hurt with the Giants. I have to I'll do my research next week. I'll learn more about this on the backside. But yes, all right. Bennett and Lee May shaking the bat at wiffle ball.
Tell you, if anybody actually listened to this list the last couple of weeks of the combinations that you're throwing out there, what in the hell are they talking about?
I love it because I think people. That's why I do this show for the kids so they can remember who is Lee May, and I think people actually Google Lee May.
I can't wait till the next drunk guy goes to the bar and is like, "I got a trivia question for you. Hold on."
I love it. All right, well, listen, big news on the Patreon front. I mean, listen. Joe Rogan, once again, Joe Rogan, you know what? I'm that team with this, the games never, where the announcer says, they're playing better, but they're just not pulling away. One of those, it's 17-6, and you're feeling good about yourself, that kind of a score. Because my buddy, number 35, coming in, John Kelly from Los Angeles, coming in.
Kelly.
John Kelly with a huge, I don't know who said the amount of money he's giving me. He jumped in the pool. He's Irish. He's from Boston. I hung out with him years ago. He sings I Left My Heart in San Francisco karaoke better than any man. Swear to God. Sings one song. He's the guy. Me and my buddy are singing 9 songs, jumping around. He doesn't sing all night. Sings one song. I Left My Heart in San Francisco. The girls go crazy. The plates comes down. Everybody goes nuts. And he's like the Trent Dilfer of karaoke. And but
R.I.P. Tony Bennett.
he also watches he listens to the podcast, but then finally he's like, because Pat Volkermer is also his buddy. So he's like, God. I got to match Pat at least. So he joined in. He's number 35. So now listen, we're looking for number 36, which was that? Is that Cone? Who's 36?
That's Coney. Yeah,
Cone.
35 would be Musina, I would assume.
Right. So Coney was 36. Also, I think Mark Haynes on the Giants was number 36, defensive back in the 80s.
Now you're going back.
And listen, 36. That's how it is. So we now have an even number, an odd number, but an even number, nice solid 35 Patreon members. Lighting it up here at Shea. So listen, anytime we add a Patreon member, and I know the thousands of people that are listening at home right now at 1:00 on a Tuesday, they are enjoying the fact that Jimmy's doing well with his Patreon. And that's very important to me, which brings us to a very important sponsor for many reasons. Big news coming out of Absolute Eyewear. That's right. 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937. Now, it's owned by Craig and Johnine, but there's big news. I was out with Janine Friday at an event, and all of a sudden, I thought I heard her say, Charles Oakley's kids came into the store. That's what I thought I heard. Turns out, she didn't say that. She just said that we now have Oakley's sunglasses for kids. Obviously, they're a big name of the kid brand.
So how many beers deep were you when she told you that?
I wasn't that deep in beers, but I I then realized that it's much cooler if you just say Charles Oakley brought his kids into the store. So
I agree.
from here on, just telling you, Johnny, if you're listening at the store right now, we not only is it, Charles Oakley comes right now, it's just Charles Oakley. They also still have Charles Oakley come to the store, but sometimes he brings his kids, and they're full service opticians, prescription eyewear. They got everything, eye exams, glasses for the kids, and the Oakley kids getting involved. And they also have Ray-Ban Coach Ralph Lauren, Dave Sturchio's Jimmy Choo. But I got to stop right there. Very sad news may be happening here, Dave. Very sad news.
They're not losing Jimmy Choo, are they?
There's a possibility.
Oh, God.
That Jimmy Choo.
I'll never go there again. What are you talking about?
Jimmy Choo could be left out, a player to be named later. Maybe they'll get, Lee May.
I got to ask you, though, just based off of that advertisement right here. Let me just try to clear it up there. That's got to be Craig's son.
That's Craig's kids. Yes.
Oh my God, the genes are strong over there in the Shaw
They look just like them.
Oh my God, they got a
matter of fact, they came
lens kids free 2 pair for $99.
Listen, the kids are great. I knew the apple did not fall far from the tree because they went to a softball practice and both of them struck out a lot. Both of them hit bombs over 400 feet, and both of them caught every ball, but it bounced off your face, your head, your shoulder. So they're ready to go. They're prime. My sister's gonna go. Why are you throwing Craig's kids under the bus? I'm teasing. Craig's kids they're adorable. They're good kids too. Anyway, so go to Absolute Eyewear. They're open 5 days a week, and 732-326-3937. Go hang out with Charles Oakley's kids, and and maybe put them on glasses. As a matter of fact, Charles Oakley's, I think, one of the opticians that works there as well. He works there part-time. He can't go to the garden.
They kick him out too?
You can't go to the garden. That's it. Maybe Craig's going to kick Charles Oakley out.
There you go.
But also, don't forget they have Silhouette, Michael Kors, Vogue, Maui Jim, and, of course, the ones that she gave me, Costa Del Mar. Jimmy Palumbo sporting the Costa Del Mar hanging. Look at Sam Grasso chiming in over here. Hey. I missed the last 2 shows. Dude, they're available. Re-listen to them.
Yeah, man. We need the downloads. Jim, would you say that in your rant with the branding, do you say Burberry?
Burberry?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you? Well, I mean,
do you say that? And like, I for some reason I'm drawing a blank. Do you say Burberry? No, right?
In the ad?
In the ad.
There's no Burberry there. Costa Del Mar.
I got Burberry glasses there. So let's just.
You know what? Listen, Janine, please call me. Do you have Burberry tackle? You know what? That would be better. Bob Shepard at Giant Stadium.
Burberry.
Spilled by Burberry and Taylor. I'll have to switch.
Perfect.
I have to do a whole different.
I know. It's gonna throw you off your game.
Maybe we'll get rid of Charles Oakley. He never won a championship with the Knicks anyway, so we'll get. I'll very easily dump on Charles Oakley. No, I like Charles Oakley. I met him a couple times. All right. Well, listen. Friday, I went to a funeral. My cousin Joey's wife, Sue, dad passed away. And we had the repass, and we ended up at the Woodbridge Brewery getting let me tell you something. First of all, that place has been like 11 different names growing up.
People know it as JJ Biddings.
Yeah, whatever. No, I didn't go there. I went there once. I didn't like it, so I never went back. But now it's a whole new thing. It's like,
it's nice.
I like it. The beers were good. First of all, everybody there knew me from Beer League. I was like, what is this? Like Fan Appreciation Day here today?
They knew you're on the flyer.
but here's how you know a business must be tight with the mayor. You're outside, but in order to get to the bathroom, you got to go like outside on the curb, like into the general pump. So if you want to go piss, you're drinking beer at a brewery, honey, I got to go to the bathroom. Where are you going? I just have to go into downtown Woodbridge for a little bit, make a left in Carteret. I come back through Keesby, and then I get into the bathroom. It's
the worst. I do find that a little weird.
And then God
forbid walking on a public street.
I know, you're on the public street. Like, some guy's walking a daughter in a stroller, and I come out with Beer League getting involved here. But
it was a little weird.
The food was good. We had a good time. Also, a shout out. I had to duck in. I got a phone call. An old friend of my dad's, Pat Tanzola from Springwood, New Jersey, and also he was on my paper route back in 1981 here at Shea. I know, it's great. I love Fan Appreciation Day on my show. But Pat Tanzola is not feeling so good. He's over in the hospital in New Brunswick. I went to go visit him. There was nobody there, but I was able to write something on a pad so he could see it. I wish him the best. Hope he gets back healthy soon. But we did have fun at the brewery. A bunch of people were there. My friend Robin Boldante, By the way, I love calling girls that I know from high school. I never call them by their married name. She's been married like 45 years now or something like that. But like, she's Robin Boldante, but her name, I guess, is Robin Tilton. And I was able to met her husband, John, was there. Great guy. He owns a construction company. I told him I'd give him a shout out. Tilton Construction on LBI. Now, Dave, I can tell you
how much did that cost him?
Okay. By the way, he's out of your league already. You ever go to LBI and you saw like in the 70s a little shitty little shack, and you're like, oh, look at that little adorable little bungalow. Then you go back 2 summers later and you go, oh my God, did the Jeters move here? What is that? 7-car garage, elevators, those spiral staircases with an on deck looking at the ocean. So if you're in that like huge home range, well, John Tilton's your guy. He's one of the best contractors out there. Now, I kid around because I was busting his balls because my dad was in construction. We were talking about the little jobs you got to do for people. So even though he does build those monstrosities here at Shea, he also does the little Rod Carew base hits. You need something done, he takes care of. But he also knows the town. He never leaves. He never goes back over the bridge. I told him, you only come out here for funerals and weddings. You never go back. He's an LBI guy. Never likes to leave there. But he was a great guy. We had a lot of laughs talking about doing jobs for people and customers being wacky and stuff. And every Friday, look for his trucks because he has a bunch of the workers meet from wherever job he's at. They meet, have a little happy hour on Friday. They just to corroborate and stuff like that. So we had a lot of laughs about that.
It's like
so
Sam's our residential electrician over here at Shop. So Sam does little jobs and favors for us too.
There you go. That's the kind of guy. But look up Tilton Construction if you're looking to do something with your house at LBI. If you have one, I know in Ramsey. First of all, if you don't have a house in LBI and you live in Ramsey, you're like, oh, you don't have a house in LBI. Oh, that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, I know. If I ever won the lottery, I'll live in Spring Lake, and you do not want to face Spring Lake in the first round of the tournament. That noon game on Thursday. Here we go. Spring Lake against LBI. Fans are on their feet here. Of course, Jimmy Palumbo is here early because he only had to get off at exit 98 while you jerk-offs down on LBI have to go all the way down to 163 and choose between LBI or Pemberton. That joke is funny to 8 people. If you get that joke,
I think you went a little, you went higher. 63. It's 63, not 163. 163 is all up here.
I mean, okay. That's what I live off 163. So
that's what I'm saying.
That to me is that's 100 miles on the park. But yeah, go ahead. Leave on a Friday at 4:00. Try to get to LBI.
Yeah, you'll get there Sunday morning.
That's right. It's like going to Cape May. I drove home from Cape May once on Memorial Day weekend. Took me 6.5 hours. I was like, I was ready to walk home. I was ready to start forest fires down there just to get like people off the road. It's another funny joke. All right. But anyway, so I had some fun hanging out with people. Jay Bird was there, Craig, my cousin Joey, and Sue, and a bunch of others.
Liz texted me.
Yeah, she was there.
She goes, come to the brewery. And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, I was like, what are you with Ash? She's like, no, I'm with Jimmy. I was like, Jimmy already hit me up. I'm over it by now.
First of all, she clearly was drinking Tito's, but she was smiling at me. And I'm like, oh, who's that cute girl? She's a little cutie. I'm like, who's that cute girl? And she keeps on smiling. I'm like, wait a minute. Girls don't smile at me for like 10 minutes. Usually, and I knew they weren't like, women aren't big fans of beer league either. So she was, oh my God. Right now, Dave, those of you listening on audio, Dave drinks this. It looks like it looks like something
it's just a gallon.
You know what it looks like? No. It looks like what you're drinking water out of looks like, I'm in the middle of a story talking about a hot chick, and you're drinking, it looks like something you attach to a grill when you tailgate, and and the grill can run for 4 hours. You do not need that much water. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm parched.
Parched. Okay. What'd you do last Saturday? Watch the game. But more on that later. Anyway, so she was there, and I walked over and said hello to the mayor. And then all of a sudden, that's it. That's the joke. Sam Grasso. You know what? I'm so glad I did. That's the joke I was trying to say. I couldn't think of. It looks like a water cooler in the office. That's a much. First of all, I got to give a clap. Funniest joke in the last month and a half on my show is Sam Grasso texting it in. Now, here's what's funny about Sam. He's got 3 kids getting ready to go to college, so he's broke. And he can't give me $3 for Patreon, but he comes in and hits a huge 3 on a better joke. Listen,
calling Sam out on his financial woes right now.
Absolutely. But you know what, Sam? You know what? I think what he just wrote there, I should give him $3 a month.
I was just going to say, you owe him.
You know what, Sam? You got to go on Patreon right now. Well, listen, I'll be on. The question is, when your kids graduate college, will I still be doing the show? The over and under is no. But I knew Sam would laugh at that. He's a jerk off. I knew he'd laugh. That's funny. Bet your best line ever. Looks like a water cooler at the office. There you go.
I got it. Listen, speaking of Patreon, I got a text from my father Friday, or was it Friday? He said something about, hey, my credit card got hacked, and I know your Patreon goes through this week. So if it does, I'm like, damn, that's that conversation you have to have. And then the greatness of his soul, because he's the greatest man I've ever known. And he texted me today. He goes, hey, did it go through? And I was like, yeah, Pop, went through. He's the best. He's the best.
My mother has not gone through, because every time I go to her house, my mother hasn't paid since April. So the only one not paying now.
Mom, you owe me $12.
My mother's done a little bit for me on the side, on our little side business I have with my mother. However,
Oxy Magic.
And it's embarrassing that my brother's even on my Patreon. But I still got some family members not on Patreon.
Yeah, you're only up to 18 Palumbos out of the 35.
That's why, you know what? Listen, every time there's a family event now, I always show up with bells on, because you never know. I could get another $3.
You know what you should do? You should get a Jimmy Palumbo shirt, like wear one of your shirts, but on the back have a scan code thing and have just people just scan your.
Oh, that's a great idea. Why don't we do that?
On my Patreon, scan me. Done.
Scan me. You want to check out the show? Cost you $3. There we go. Yeah, I love it. Now,
Marketing
you do know that I read somewhere online. Clearly, this show is going to go over. I read something online that said that $3 is good, but if you raise it to $4, like, you lose customers. It's like, what are we doing?
We got it all figured out. The algorithms are all just
algorithm here. But no, big shout out, of course, to my boy Johnny Kelly, and that's where that goes. So, where are we now? Which brings us to your friend and mine. There's so many friends and mine here, Shay. Cornholelevel.com. That's right. We're in the middle of the summer. And again, if you go to a party and someone's got a shitty cornhole board set up, Dave, you can't have that. Like, your kids are big Jet fans. You would not want to have a nice Jet cornhole board set up. And next thing you know, you got to get it leveled. And this guy, Mike Caprio, came up with the cornhole leveler at cornholelevel.com. You hook the thing on there. Here it is right here. It's shaved. It's a little board, goes right on there. There it is. You just hook it on there. You hook it right into your cornhole.
No.
And next thing you know, it's the Rutgers thing. They just got the official
bro, your whole advertisement is on that board. I just realized that you have all
Jimmy Palumbo show. It's all there. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Good.
Hurry up.
He just re-upped. Cornhole Level is going to be with us. It's $19.95. You get a 20% off the whole order, the entire order.
Whoa.
If you put in JP Show as your super coupon. And that's what it's going to be. We're going to be at the Rutgers game handing some of these things out. Pat Volkemer chiming in. I'm actually.
Oh God.
What are the odds? Yeah, your
Pat,
favorite.
Go back to bed. Go back to bed, Pat.
I'm
not dealing with you right now. Go back to bed.
Do you realize this is the funniest thing? I booked this gig in Long Island, right? And Pat lives in LA, but he's from Long Island. He's coming home this weekend on the same exact weekend when I'm shooting a film in Long Island, not just in Long Island, right next to his hometown. It would be like literally I'm shooting in Mattawan and Chop Sports is in Mattawan. So I'll be seeing Pat Volkemer. Look at
Godspeed.
Look at this. Louis Viccidomini. $3. I'm getting shaken down for 10. Louis involved. Right? That's because, Louis, me and you go way back. It's just see Sam Grassos. You got to lure them in. You know what I mean? And then I'll just keep on mentioning his name every week, which he loves to hear. And anyway, so I'm doing like 4 ads. Patreon, Cornhole. What is going on?
All
here?
over the place. And let's be clear. I know you said middle of the summer, but the cornhole season is just getting ramped up with football, tailgates, all that stuff. There's going to be a lot more stuff there.
Yes, and this is the perfect gift. It's only $19.95, plus you get 20% off. I should figure out exactly what that is right now. I got the calculator right here. So $19.95 times 20%.
Tax.
You save $3.99 here at Shea. That's just by putting in JP.
In a million years spent
These things are only $16 a piece. You'll be the king of your tailgate. And just think, if you play cornhole for 3 weeks, you're ranked. You'll be ranked in the top 20
nationally. Yeah.
We were in a discussion. What's the easiest game to learn how to play? Pickleball, cornhole, and someone said bowling. I was like, "Ooh, good one." They all revolve around drinking. At least I drink after pickleball anyway. I still think pickleball.
You can't drink during pickleball.
Well, you take a break. Somebody's always got a cooler over there. Yeah, a little cocktail.
That's rough. I mean, you're running back and forth. I'd be all over the place.
Sometimes you just gotta, you're a little stressed out. You cut the edge a little bit. Anyway,
down a couple points.
Cornholelevel.com. Go check it out. JP Sports, I guess, whatever the hell it is. Just call the guy. He'll give you the 20% off. And that's it. Now, in other news here from the Omni, I played softball on Sunday. No, let me start a little. Played pickleball this weekend, but we did something called drilling because I'm on this new all-state pickle league. I got kicked out of this league last year for not being available. All of a sudden, I became Giancarlo Stanton, and now I'm in the league, but it's a 3-5 league, which I think I'm a 3-5.
What does that mean to the common man?
Where your rank, what your skill level is. I'm a solid 3-5. I'm an inconsistent 4-0. That's what I'm willing to say. And 15-year ban. Troy Chavarro for threes. Got it. A lot of my listeners are hitting threes. I love it. I played pickleball, but we had to do the guy who runs the league, runs our team. He wanted to do drilling. First of all, it was 190 degrees. Okay. And we had Sunday at noon, the sun was beating down on me, and we were doing like drills. And I'm like, the star players don't practice. Like, what do you? This is like,
I would say what I already said practice is for, but I can cancel off the face of the earth.
If you go in, there's a line about practicing in beer league.
Go look it up. Greatest line maybe of the movie outside of Jimmy's.
Little inappropriate, but then we started playing the games, and that's when I had to turn up the gas a little. There he goes with the fucking water cooler again. Dave, the water cooler, Sturchio. I love you. No, you try to sneak it in when I'm like talking about.
Right, it's a podcast after all. So like I figured, okay, where's my opening? Here's my opening. He's talking about being shitty at pickleball, so I'm here.
And now they want me to become certified. Like instruct, and I'm like,
I'm a professional.
They want me. I got to drive to like Hartford, Connecticut for a weekend to become certified for what? I'm already kicking your ass, and you're certified. I think it should. The certification should be: I beat your ass, you suck. I'm certified over you. Who am I going to teach? A bunch of old ladies. This is a pickleball, commonly known as a wiffle ball with more holes. This is the easiest thing you're ever going to do. This is easier than washing dishes, for Christ's sake. Anyway, so I did that, and then I was sweating my ass off, and I forgot I had a softball game, playoff game with the Potbellies. So, dude, I'm out for 2.5 hours.
Multi-sport today. You're Deion Sanders
First of all,
over here.
I showed up. I should have told the coach. We were short guys, and of course, I was 3 for 3 on the day with 2 RBIs. However, I was
4 for 6 in the last 2 weeks. I mean, you're picking it up.
I started coming around. I'm feeling. Of course, the season's over now. We got smoked. But here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. We only had 3 outfielders, so I had to play right field. The gap against a playoff team that was ranked way ahead of us. I'm roaming in right field, okay, with a thick uncut grass on one of these fields, and the guys were hitting them down the line in the gap. I just couldn't get over there in time. It's gonna go all the way to the wall. I
could just hear, like, I wish. You know what? We have the technology, and I can do it for you one day. I gotta mic you up, and I gotta have you in the outfield, and I can just hear
I'm playing.
Like, I can like ping, and you're just like, you know you're not getting there, but like you're gonna try anyway, and you just can hear the breath and like.
But I will tell you this: two things happened that are funny. The one guy dropped a lazy fly ball, and he was like, I was going to my left. I'm like, dude, I was like, if you notice with me, I'm slow. I can't get to any balls. But if there's a lazy fly to me, I catch it and throw it in. It's like, there's never an issue. But the center fielder, this guy, Timmy Sullivan, is my electrician too. Good guy. There was a ball in the gap, and I thought it was hit right at him, but it clearly was in between us. I took the ESPN put a graphic up. I took 6 centimeters towards center field to go get the ball. And then I saw him digging, and I'm like, he'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
And then you're doing the math. You're doing the ball and track.
I'm doing the ball. I'm doing my own algorithm. Wait a minute. So the ball bounces in front of him, but like right even when he has to go get it, throws it in. But then our second baseman very casually, he held the guy to a triple. The second baseman just goes, a little effort there by Palumbo. So Tim looks at me and goes, yeah, at first I was afraid I was going to run into you. And then I realized you were miles away from me. I was like, I'm 58 years old. We were down 13-2. I'm not in the fifth inning, sweating my balls off. However, a friend of mine, I'm playing on their corporate team. A friend of mine actually came to recruit me to see if I was any good. I was like, are you kidding me? I was 3 for 3. And then here's the best part. Line of the week. This is the name of the show. I come in. She's like, oh, yeah, you're pretty good. She says, can you play first? She saw the lack of range in the outfield. All she said was, can you play first? I said,
fat
yes,
and lazy. What first base?
First baseman, yes. Oh my God. Of course, the team we play on during the trading deadline, we are stacked with first basemen and DHs. I mean, every year the first place team, if they're looking for a key first baseman or a DH, we have them all. We have no shortstops, no center field.
The talent pool is just out there.
Oh my God, so funny.
Hilarious.
People come to recruit. I said, just watch the movie. You know, I'm going to bet 706. Which brings us to, I love even my segues. I need a producer. I need to have someone like over there telling me what to do. Because I always say, which brings us to, listen, I know it's summertime and your carpets are filthy.
I need this number. Do not let me forget it. I got to get this from you for real. I said to my wife, I said, look, I was like, by the way, she tells me the other day, she's like, we got to get these carpets. Like when these guys are done with the bathroom, we got to get the carpets done. I was like, well, I know a guy.
Here we go. That's right. Because you know why? If you need your carpets clean, OxyMagicUSA.com. Now that's OXY MagicUSA.com. That's right. This place is great. They're not your traditional carpet cleaning method. They're great. They don't drag the hoses through the house. Drying time is 1 to 2 hours. I think it's more like 3 hours if you ask me, but we're cutting that one close right there. Oxy Magic has Green Seal and EPA safer choices, so your kids aren't going to be, although it's a green seal, which means if you get your carpets done, your son, a green seal, Jets, Jets. The products are all certified. They do wall-to-wall carpetings, area rugs, upholstery. They even do tile and grout and all that stuff, which I'm sure Dave needs. And they have 80 locations nationwide. I'm sure they got one down there. I'll find out for you. OxyMagicUSA.com. They're also offering, and again, Dave and I, in 3 years, we both might be doing this, offering 0% company financing for any new location.
You're being very gracious. I feel like this is going to happen around November.
Okay. That's right. But listen, if me and Dave go to Oxy Magic USA and sign up for US 0% financing, we will do the podcast live. We'll bring 2 machines to each house so we can banter back and forth while we
clean. Like a proton pack from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly right. What a great idea. We do the podcast with the Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Jones House here in downtown Manalapan.
Vacuums won't quiet down for nothing.
We got to talk loud here because we are under some duress. There was a couple of shitty spills in the kids' room, but here we'll give full play-by-play. And Dave's grabbing the stuff to spray on the stain here.
One has to wonder if they got any spaghetti in their mouth on Sunday.
This place is filthy. We'll be right back. So again, go talk to Tom DeMayo, good guy. I haven't seen you in a while, Tom. You don't come to the pickle courts. Why? Because I'm good now and I'll crush you. And your wife, we just want to have your wife come there. We don't need you there. Go talk to Tom and Natalie. OxyMagicUSA.com. They're really good. That's OXY. Why? Because we like you. Oxy Magic USA. And what is this? Caprio. Can I get my carpets cleaned and not have Caprio wants to get a carpet clean and we don't come to his house.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's great about my sponsors? There's like I think it's like they mock me out and all we do is bash each other. And my sponsors, it's the unad kind of thing. That's how I roll. Caprio thinks he knows everything. He doesn't know shit. But go check out OxyMagicUSA.com. Matter of fact, Dave Sturchio will be calling up Tom after the show. I'm going to text you with his number.
Yes.
And you got to act like you're a stranger. You got to act like a customer.
I'm like, hey, listen, I heard you on this really
I listen to this
podcast.
killer show. Because that'll be it. All right, so Oxy Magic USA. Now, the Yankees.
Skip on over.
I normally, yes. I agree with you on skipping the Yankees. But did Aaron Boone do community theater when he was younger? What he did last night, he looks like I would love to talk to his wife. Is everything okay at home? He looks like someone who is like, I can't believe how shitty we are. First of all, the Yankees, they don't play defense. They never make. Did you see the play the first baseman made to really kill the bases loaded?
No, I don't.
The guy dove to the line, like he came up, ran to the bag. The Yankees, the players, they don't have position players. They're all over the place. The Yankees got up with the bases loaded 11 times last night, as far as I'm concerned.
They left 18 runners on base the other night. 18.
Yeah, they're leaving guys. They stink. Stanton's been shitty. Even Judge isn't that good. The only guy, IKF and Glaber are actually hitting the ball fairly well. But they have all these guys that come up. They just hacking away. They stink. Yeah, there he is. There's Aaron Boone. He just looked like a fool. I love our technology here.
It's like, but it's just so
he just looks.
I thought last night was almost like a last ditch effort to show the fan base, like, hey, I'm still fighting for this team. No, you're not. You're actually trying to get out of there faster than the rest of the crew.
They're 5.5 games out of the wild card. I just
you would think this team is 30 games under 500 the way we all treat it, but they're actually like 4 games over 500, which is kind of weird. But look, I'm just going to address real quick. Sam Grasso coming in says Mattingly manager, Jeter GM. These are all fantasy things. These are all things that the fans are like, this would be great. No. It wouldn't be great, because if Mattingly comes in there and they stink just as bad as they do,
his legacy.
Mattingly's legacy is torched, and people are going like, "I'll get fucking Don Mattingly out of here." All of a sudden you hate Don Mattingly, and if Jeter doesn't spend the money like Steve Cohen spends the money, which by the way that all blew up in his face anyway, but if he doesn't spend the money, Jeter's a cheap ass. He don't give a shit about the team. Like, what are we talking about? You're just setting yourself up for failure as a fan base.
I believe Derek Jeter will be involved with the Yankee organization. I do. I don't know if it'll be GM. I think he'll be involved. I do. I just don't know GM. But first of all, Mattingly, what did he do as a manager? I don't remember. Does he have a winning
Dodgers,
record?
I guess, were his best. Was he a Dodger coach too? Right before the Marlins.
I don't think. You know what?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't think it's a good fit.
I think they need a young manager who's
that's what Aaron Boone is technically comparable to everybody else.
I want a younger guy.
Go give me Joe Madden. Go give me the dude from Cleveland who thought the fight the other day was funny.
Did you see that knockout blow by the guy there?
Oh, that boy was asking for it. I tell you right now.
But you see how he squared up with the fists up and everything?
That's the thing. This guy has come out on record publicly and said that he's like just the next Jackie Robinson and shit. Like, what are we talking about here? Now you get sparked at second base, and it was the greatest thing we've seen.
But I didn't think, what was the guy sliding in pissed about? What did the guy do wrong?
I don't know.
I think they're both jerks.
Right. They've had a little bit of a beef, going into that.
Yes. Next, we'll get out of baseball. Mets and Yankees stink.
Please. Thank you.
Soccer.
What? It's over. It's over, Jimmy.
You know what?
Couldn't have happened to a better group of girls.
I can't believe how many people hate the women's soccer team.
It's not even that. They're just unlikable. They're unlikable people.
But you know what, though? I laugh. I know you're not supposed to. Whatever you do to make the public hate you. But, there have been stars over the years. One you might know is a pretty big name, Muhammad Ali. They did things political, and they lost a lot of their fan base. But in the end, captured them back, and not necessarily were that wrong. So I'm a little bit on the fence on this, because part of me says you're playing but Muhammad Ali was an individual. He wasn't boxing for his nation, so he could do whatever he wants. But I think when you're playing for the USA team, you do have to do a little decorum, put your hand over your heart, stand for the national anthem. But if you want to publicly have issues with things going on in the government, you can do that. But I don't think it should be during, if you go on Merv Griffith, you can you can go on. Or if you're doing a guest spot on Barnaby Jones, you can wear your political hat. But I think when you're playing soccer for the USA and it's every 4 years, I'm not so sure. Either way, they weren't good enough. They never score. They don't have the offensive talent. And
they were this season was Rocky 3.
right.
They were like glitz and glam, and here we are. We're the women. We're the U.S. women's team. Nobody could touch us. And Clubber Lang came in there and beat them up, and that was it.
And you also have that what's her name, Megan, the one with the short hair. She missed. She missed.
Listen, I'm not a soccer player.
And then the other girl
could never be a soccer player.
They had if you watch the kicks,
goal is this big.
They had the lead. Have you ever stood in front of a legit soccer goal?
Yeah.
It's the size of Rawway.
Right.
Okay? You know, it's like, yeah, Rapinoe. That's the girl's name. And she missed that kick, which she supposedly doesn't miss much those. And then the other girl missed. And then the other one just, how close was the goal? And that's what made it worse.
Rapinoe put it into the 15th row.
So the other girl, and then the goal that won it was like bouncing around. I thought she made the save, but
Troy Bold, bro. She missed on purpose. Was she Nigel Gruff?
Oh, that's so funny. That's a funny joke too. That's not as good as the water cooler joke, but you're right there. Matter of fact, Troy, that's very funny, but I don't see you on my Patreon either. And Palumbo is fighting back here. Judge Ramirez has it 117, 113, Troy Chamorro, but the Mexico City judge has it all tied here. Anyway, I just, first of all, anybody was watching soccer at 5 a.m.
You're psycho in itself.
Probably people getting ready for work, but I'm just going to bed. We got now you're going to hate me for this because you're all locked in. Let's discuss how awful in every way preseason football is. They shouldn't televise these first games. There's first of all, every team has players from Rutgers playing in the first game.
You just have guys to take running it for around. What it is.
It's awful, and it's portrayed as like, it's awful. It should be scrimmages. They should just run like down and outs and like have the ball. It's awful in every way. The Jet game last week, I knew 3 players on the field. I also don't like the hype, the Giant stuff. I did hear Chris Carlin, voice of the Rutgers Mixed Scarlet Knights. He's like, anybody want to make a bet that the Giants could be 1-5? And I'm thinking, no way. And then he rattled up the schedule, and I went, ooh. I'll tell you one thing. I'll make a prediction. If the Giants, here's my prediction. If the Giants are 4-2 at the end of the first 6 games, they'll win the division easy. That's how tough their first 6 games are, man.
Well,
I don't see it.
I just secured my tickets for September the 10th, week 1. Cowboys coming in. They're going to spark those boys.
They could. They very much could. Now, Rutgers, I've been trying not to read the articles preseason because I'm tired. I'm 58. This is my 40th year as a Rutgers fan. You believe this? I arrived on campus in 1983 on Labor Day weekend for threes. Got it. And I lived on Livingston. I became really big basketball fan because I had everybody, all the players lived on Livingston and the football guys too. And 40 years, we've had 2.5 good seasons. I'm a beaten man. I can't read these same, or if I was a sports writer for the Star Ledger, I'd be like, oh, honey, it's Rutgers time. So easy. I'm just going to go back to like 11 years ago, just do a cut and paste, put the new names in because everything's maybe, might, hope. What if it's the same thing? And even though I know we're going to be better than we were last year, I don't know if our record's going to be better, but we will be a better product on the field. I'm pretty, but like 4 or 5 wins, that's it. We're not going 6-6.
Who are you open up against? Do you know off the top of your head?
Northwestern.
At home. That's at home.
At home. Then we play Temple and then Virginia Tech.
Okay, that could be 3-0.
And then I think we play Rawway. And then
4-0,
and then that team from Ohio comes in.
And
that'll do it. And I was also reading about the team I think is going to be awesome this year is Penn State. I think Penn State is going to be in the championship 4. They are stacked, man. They're recruiting the last 3 years. There is no one is shitty that starts. Like there's no like, oh, 2-star guy. We coached him up. No, there's like 5-star guys that got coached down to 4-star guys. Okay?
Including your friend and mine, Micah Parsons.
That's
Former Nittany Lion.
Former Nittany Lion, who, my cousin John still says he only made tackles after the guy got 10 yards, which I love to say about it. But he didn't play long enough. But he's a good person. Although they say he's up for MVP, defensive MVP this year.
I mean, he's been runner-up 2 years in a row. So
2 years, but you know what? NFL every year, you don't get
it's
better.
always that. First of all, MVP is a quarterback award.
NFL means not for long. So nobody gets better. That's another thing. You agree with me? No, I'm not
going to agree with you on this.
No. Yes, you are. In a common.
You're going to say nobody gets better in the NFL.
No, but you know what though? Don't you think if you play linebacker in the NFL, I don't think you do get better. I don't. And running back definitely do not
Parsons
get
has gotten better both years, first year into his second, and now into his third.
And Parsons limping off here, 425 left, and then it's like
don't you put that evil out there?
No, but you know what I mean? No, it's like the only people that get better are offensive linemen, and you don't hear about him until you're like, he's been there 17 years, he's alone. You're like, wait a minute. That's the same guy playing left tackle for 17 years. He makes $190 million an hour here. But everybody else, defensive backs don't get better. No way. What are they looking at coverages? You either run a 4-2 or you don't. And as you get older, it goes 4-2.5, 4-3, 4-4. Then they move you to free safety.
It's like Kenny Powers. It's like Kenny Powers. His fastball goes 101, 95, 92, 87.
Next thing you know, you're like Phil Necro on the mound over there. So I really don't believe there's certain positions NFL. Anyway, but the other thing is I'm all over the map here on this show. The Big Ten is expanding. Matter of fact, this is news just came out of ESPN. I can't believe this
yesterday.
Is true.
Yeah, I believe
the Jimmy Palumbo show is part of the Big Ten now. We open up with my game one, and I'm playing Ohio State. The point spread is 54.5. It's just, and my lineup is me, Dave Sturchio, and Chris Gucci lining up against Ohio State on Fox 5. Here we go. There's 74 teams in the league. But again, let me educate. This should be my own. This should be an Instagram post right here. There's no such thing as the Big Ten Conference. It's called the Big Ten Network, and it's a television network, and they have 15 shows, and they air these shows every weekend, and they sell ads for the shows. Nothing to do with academics. They're a television network, and the Big Ten has some awesome shows. They got Ohio State show, the Penn State show, the Michigan show. And of course they got some horrific shows that they're trying to make better. Rutgers, Northwestern, Indiana, Maryland, they're like the shitty ones that are on Lifetime Network at Sunday mornings. Okay. But they're just a giant network. So people say, why are they taking Oregon and Washington? You know why? Because somebody sitting in an office said, we don't get good ratings in the Northwest. Why don't we take two of those schools? Now we got the Northwest. Now we got the North. They got everything covered. It's all about eyeballs and television. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's what the Big Ten is. I don't blame them. And Rutgers, as awful as that they've been, Big Ten Network loves Rutgers. New York market. I'm telling you, buddy of mine is in this business of ads. He's like, Jimmy, Rutgers does great in the New York market. I'm involved with the ad rates. It's like, but we stink. He goes, yeah, but people watch. Well, meanwhile, the Iowa-Nebraska game, which is the better game, no one's watched that because there's no people that live there. That's why. So anyway, everybody calm down with the realignments. It'll be better for Rutgers. We don't have to play Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State every year. This weekend, I'm working on a film. It's not under the SAG contract, which I can't believe. I verified it 3 times. I got a very funny role. I got the role because I worked with one of the guys before, which is always good to do. And I also have a voiceover booking here at Shea on Monday. So Palumbo, between the Patreon, Johnny Kelly at 35, and 2 bookings, although the money I'll probably, the George Washington Bridge will probably set me back in terms of profiting by driving out to Long Island for 3 days. My daughter's back in town here at Shea. She was away down over in Montauk, which is right next to England. You get on the LIE until you're near death, and then you're at the end. That's how it works. And if there's traffic, you actually die. There's funeral parlors that say, if you die on the way to Montauk, just come here and we'll just bury the body right there. Which, of course, I got such a funny. Do you know who the actor Gary Cooper is?
Gary Cooper.
High Noon. Would you know? Oh, God,
I'll have to look him up real quick.
He's a legendary actor from the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Why on God?
But he's famous. He's famous though. He's world famous.
Gary Cooper.
Yeah, you're not your dad, but your dad will know who he is. So one day I'm going out to Montauk, and my father says, "Jimmy."
Oh, I know Gary Cooper.
Jimmy goes, Jimmy, Gary Cooper's buried out there. I said, where that guy? Buried out there. I know he is. He was buried in L.A. and his wife moved him out in Montauk. I said, Dad, there's no cemeteries in Montauk. So with that, I'm driving. I see it. I'm in traffic, bumper to bumper, right? I look over. I see the cemetery, right? I'm like, that's got to be it. So I get out of the car. I drive into the cemetery. People are beeping, traffic both ways. I go in there. Now I'm in this cemetery. Now, how am I going to find Gary Cooper's grave in here, right? So there's a guy like doing, these guys raking up leaves and stuff. I go, hey, you work here? He goes, yeah. I said, is Gary Cooper buried here? And he goes, yeah. You go down right over there. And so with that, Gary Cooper is buried around 6 feet from the traffic. So if you go to McDonald's and you decide to litter and throw your stuff on the cemetery, it lands on Gary Cooper's grave. I'm like,
that's awesome.
By the way, he played Lou Gehrig in Pride of the Yankees. Sam Gresso lighting it up here. You're like one of those shitty.
Okay, well, I didn't watch Pride of the
Yankees.
Yankees either, so relax.
You never saw that movie?
No.
About Lou Gehrig? Yes, you have.
No, I swear to God.
Dude, you know what? With your kids, that's a must see. It's a good one.
I'll give it a
shot. You know what? First of all,
Patrick Volkmer, Yankees Pride, Yankees, for Christ's sake, Gary Cooper.
That's you did the youth.
And you know, not for nothing. Did your dad always sound like a 40s detective?
Yeah,
Gary Cooper. You see,
Jimmy. He's buried there, and because he got the town wrong, it wasn't Montauk. It's actually Southampton. But I went there, and people put little things on his grave, and I'm like, one of the most famous actors of all time is sitting here 5 feet from traffic. Why I told that story, I don't know. You know why? I find it funny. Which brings me to Chasing Miracles. That's right, the patches. I'm wearing them right on the back here, right underneath the gut, although my gut rubs into my jeans and the patch flies off, so I got to find a different spot. Phototherapy patches here at Shea. They use things to stimulate the body's natural healing. You got to try. My mother's on them right now. We're trying to avoid her to get some knee surgery and stuff. Her knee's been bothering her. She's all patched up. I know Chris's girlfriend loves to patch up. Makes you feel better about yourself, reactivating your body's own stem cells. You got to get these things. They also have hydration packs. You got to go to chasingmiracles.com. Talk to Tommy and Donna. Donna does the business, but Tommy explains like how your life's going to be changed and all that stuff. So I'm sticking to it, and they're one of my fine sponsors here at Shea. Chasingmiracles.com. It'll make you feel like a youngster, like a young right-hander. Although I'm not going to be like the Big Hurt and say like, and she'll even like it too. No, she'll be like, hey, what
a weird end to a commercial.
Creepy,
yeah, the
creepiest thing
your
ever.
Your strength will be up, and your body fat will be down, and then all of a sudden you're like, and you're gonna drill your wife just as good.
All I think is like, first of all, his nickname is the Big Hurt. I just think of this big man just cracking his wife. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, come on,
she'll
Frank.
like it too.
She'll like it too.
Frank, Jesus.
Oh my God. Real quickly, as we get towards the end of this short show here, actually we're not even that long yet. I started watching. You know what show? I started watching that show, Suits. It's on Netflix. I
heard good things. I've not given it the time of day yet.
First of all, it's like Billions light.
Okay.
It's and Meghan Markle. You know what? I'm sorry, Meghan. I can't stand her as a celebrity, and I think Meghan Markle needs to talk it over. I don't think she's that good. I don't think she can act. I think she's shitty. I can't believe I never say this about another actor, but because she's like a prince now or princess, but marrying the prince and all that shit. Meghan Markle to me is just, I don't know, 7 and 9. The I don't think I'm going to make the 8 seasons, 40 episodes. Of course, my friend Robin Achani loves the show Suits. Watch Billions; it's better. But the other thing is, I haven't seen Oppenheimer or Barbie yet. The only thing I will tell you about Barbie, okay? First of all, the director, Greta Gerwig, is a badass. All her shit's really good. But very simply, the team you do not want to face in the first round of the tournament is Margot Robbie. I'm sorry, guys. I think she is just
her next movie third for the rest of her life.
Yeah, her next movie is just she's going to read the phone book, and it's probably going to do $500 million. It's on a new Margot Robbie film. She sits down and reads in a world where people don't read the phone book. Margot Robbie she found an old phone book and is reading it. She is just
And
lights
guess what?
out.
I'm there with popcorn.
Ah, you kidding me? I'll go
You hear
twice.
that? She's up to the C's.
And the next time I'll be like, oh, when she got to the ends, oh, it was unbelievable.
The
Napolitano.
enunciation was amazing.
You know? I thought she rushed the X's a little bit. She got a little caught in the
There's only a couple of them.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And then she got to the C's. She just poured it on at 26 and won it. But no, Margot Robbie, oh my God.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Like, I mean, I know it's a guy thing, but like she's just, I guess maybe years ago people found that way about George Clooney, I guess, for girls and stuff. But I know my buddy Bob's noticing my Molly Hatchet shirt.
Molly fucking Hatchet.
Molly effing Hatchet right there. All right, I haven't seen Oppenheimer. Heard it's 3 hours long. Pat Volkman said it was just okay. Barbie it's better than Oppenheimer. I got an argument. My mother says, Jimmy, you got to watch the documentary on Oppenheimer and then go see the movie. I said, Ma, that defeats you're supposed to go to a movie and then you enjoy the movie and then maybe the documentary fills you with, because you won't understand it. Then the movie sucks.
It's based on a true story, Ma.
I know.
It's like, how can you,
Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer sounds like one of those one of those clothes stores in New York City. Yeah, I went to CVS. I stopped by Oppenheimer's, developed a bomb, and I went back over to Barbie. It's like,
the only thing I'll say about Barbie is, for the love of God, it's like, I didn't see it yet, obviously, and I'm not going to take my daughter to see it. She's 4. I've seen one movies with her.
But I heard young kids are going to this, and everything goes over.
She's going to The Little Mermaid. That's where it ends right now. But like, I'm not going to go take her to see Barbie with this weirdness. But I will say, the people that are like dressing up pink and doing the photos inside the box, you're fucking weird. You're so weird. I'm sorry. Like, oh, we're at Barbie. Let's make sure we get in front of the box. Like, what are we doing?
You're right. That's totally insane. Another thing is, my daughter was more into the American Girl dolls, which did you get caught in that yet?
No, not yet. I don't think so. I don't know.
We'll just get a home equity loan first. If your daughter does get it, if any of your family member buys your daughter an American Girl doll, kick him out of the house.
Yeah,
because you have to take her to the American Girls.
She's adorable. She hit me up yesterday. She just told me yesterday, Daddy, can I have Sour Kids? And I was like, what the fuck? What is a Sour
Kids patch thing?
Yeah, I was like, you mean Sour Patch Kids? And I was like, who the hell is giving you Sour Patch Kids? Like, you don't need any more sugar at all. No dice.
Take her. Listen to me. Before your kid is, green hair, smoking pot, driving away from the house, take her. Not your son, though. Do not do this to your son. Leave your son to watch the Jet game with your dad. Bring your daughter with your wife to the American Girl thing in New York City and watch. It's like
I avoid the city like the plague, Jimmy.
I know, but you know what? It's real easy. You pull up right in front of this parking right there. You're going to spend about $200, $50 to park. For $300, you took your daughter to Disney World for 4 hours. She will be, you got to see her face. Do it while she's young, too. She's going to be like, oh my God.
But the problem is, Jimmy, I'm awful at I took her to one toy store. It was probably like 2 years ago.
This one's different, bro.
Yeah, girls? But I know, but like I went to one toy store and I said, hey, you get one of these. Do you want this one or do you want this one? And before she can even answer, I was like, or do you want both?
I know, I'm the same way.
Horrible. I am so bad at this.
No, listen, you're going to get beat, but to see your kid's face in this place, it's almost like it's like heroin for kids. Your kid's going to be like, right. Oh my God, what is this? But my daughter wasn't into Barbie, but I'll tell you right now, if you bet the house on American Girl, and all of a sudden with the Barbie movie, look out, and Barbie, but I think they're owned by the same company now. But Barbie, I think, might take over the world now. That's over $1 billion in the box office. Good God, save the movie business. Anyway, which brings us to Pine Tar Bar and Grill here in Shea, 121 South Main Street, Fork and River, New Jersey, 609-489-4286. If you're going down to LBI or Cape May or Atlantic City, stop in at my boy Tommy Plinio's place. TVs, best sports bar, food's good. Go check it out. And also Lisa Ruane, therapist. If you're feeling like shit, you're not feeling right, you don't want to talk to anybody, you got to talk to somebody. 201-725-1251. She's certified therapist. She does hypnotherapy as well. 18 and over. She does Zoom in person. You'll love Lisa. She will help you. Please, I'm big on this. If you're feeling shitty, you got to get involved here from the Omni. So give her a shout, Lisa Ruane. And you know what? We're at the minute 3 mark, and my friend Robin is saying Barbie is not for little kids. Well, there you go.
There you go.
And she has 2 daughters. It's not for older men either. So that'll do it here. All right. Thank you. We got listeners are chiming in. A big shout out to Sam Grasso with by far the funniest line of the week. And everybody else who almost tried to have a funny line. And I will see you next Tuesday with a very special guest. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Bye.